It's 2024 and Gru and his minions are back and as despicable as ever. But now that he's settled down a little with his wife Lucy, his 3 adopted kids Margo, Edith, and Agnes, and a baby? What could go wrong? We'll find out as we cover 107 facts about Despicable Me 4. Let's get started. 1. One of the first inklings of information that we ever got of Despicable Me 4 came as early as 2017 during an interview with Bloomberg, which was a whopping 7 years ago, if you believe it or not. Number 2. Chris Renaud returns to direct Despicable Me 4. Renaud previously directed the first and second films in the series, but shifted to producer position for the third. Number 3. Joining Renaud for Despicable Me 4 are Patrick Delage and Mike White, co-director and writer respectively. Delage has worked on previous films in the series, but this will be Mike White's first Despicable Me film. Number 4. With the release of Despicable Me 4, Illumination Entertainment now has a quadrilogy in the portfolio of films. Number 5. Now, that doesn't mean it's the 4th film in the franchise, that just means that the series has 4 films. Now, if we're talking about franchise, there are 6 theatrical films, which include the 2 Minions movies. Isn't that kind of nuts? Number 6. According to Renaud, several returning characters had their rigs and surfaces updated for this sequel. For example, one particular character, Fred McDade, hasn't been seen since Despicable Me 2, so he definitely needed an upgrade. Number 7. According to Miranda Cosgrove, the voice for Margo, and Joey King in an interview, a lot of the actors weren't together to record the film and had only just met prior to the film's release. Number 8. That being said, Gru's entire family makes a return. Of course, you can't have Gru without having Steve Carell, who returns to voice Gru. Number 9. Kristen Wiig returns to voice Lucy Wilde, Gru's wife and the mother figure for the family. Number 10. As mentioned a bit earlier, Miranda Cosgrove returns to voice Margo, the eldest adopted daughter in the family. Number 11. Edith sees Dana Geyer reprise her role as the middle adopted daughter. 12. Despite Agnes returning as well, Madison Poland replaces Nev Sherrill as the voice of Agnes. Number 13. You might think that rounds out Gru's family in Despicable Me 4, but there's a new addition to the family. Gru and Lucy's biological son, Gru Jr. Number 14. Even though he's called Gru Jr., his full name is Felonious Gru Jr., just like his dad. Number 15. Gru Jr. is voiced by the amazing Tara Strong, a veteran actress with many popular voice roles such as Timmy Turner from The Fairly OddParents, Raven from Teen Titans, and Bubbles from the original Powerpuff Girls TV series. Number 16. In the film, Gru Jr. is already 6 months old, indicating that a long time has passed since Despicable Me 3. Number 17. Gru Jr. takes after his father very much, despite seemingly not liking him as much as Lucy. In fact, Gru Jr. shares a signature piece of clothing, the scarf. 18. Throughout the film, Gru uses his minions to help take care of Gru Jr. These specific minions sport pit crew outfits similar to those seen on NASCAR, and are known as the Gru Pit Crew. Number 19. Margo is known to wear a shirt referencing characters outside of the Despicable Me franchise. In Despicable Me, it was the Lorax, in 2, it was Wangan-kun, and 3, it was the Grinch. For Despicable Me 4, it's an outline of a human head, which is a deep reference because it references the clothing brand Braindead, who partners with Illumination on merch from time to time. 20. Despicable Me 4 reveals that Gru attended Lycée Pasbon, a school for villains and villainy. 21. Lycée Pasbon is a French name, and when you translate it into English, it roughly translates to high school not good. Sorry, I used Google Translate, but can someone who actually speaks French comment down below? I'm like, sure it's supposed to say High School of Evil or something. Also, I'm definitely gonna call it LPB because I am probably butchering the pronunciation. 22. Like any fancy fictional school, like Harry Potter's Hogwarts or Wednesday's Nevermore Academy, LPB is a fancy castle-like school, as should any fancy school be. 23. The LPB school emblem includes a symbol for radiation, a stick of dynamite, a knife, and a classic bomb. How very villainous. Number 24. Every school needs a mascot, so what is LPB's? Well, it's Lenny the Honey Badger. Perfect considering how dangerous and vicious honey badgers are known to be. 25. Illumination created a Roblox game called Despicable Me 4 Heist Obby to help promote the film. The goal was to steal Lenny the Honey Badger. You could win prizes up until release of the film, and it was released on June 7th, 2024. Number 26. The school's principal, Principal Ubelschlecht, I hope I pronounced that right, is a new character introduced in this film. She's played by none other than director Chris Renaud himself. 27. Übelschlecht, translated from German, means terrible or bad, which is fitting for the principal of a villain school. 28. In Principal Übelschlecht's office, you can spot a photo with her alongside a familiar character, Dr. Nefario. Number 29. If you notice the shape of Principal Übelschlecht's bed, it literally looks like a coffin. 30. When Gru drives his supercar to the LPB class reunion, the license plate on his car reads DM090710, which translates to Despicable Me, July 9th, 2010. The release date of the first film. Number 31. Within the school, Gru and Co. can be seen passing by a motivational banner. What does it say? Think bad, act worst. The perfect quote for a school of villainy. 32. Another banner in the school can be seen saying keep calm and be nasty, which is a play on the Keep Calm and Carry On posters that were super popular. Number 33. At the school, we're introduced to this film's newest villain, the very fashionable and French Maxime Lamal. Number 34. Maxime's surname, Lamal, roughly translates to the bad, or just bad. 35. Maxime is voiced by Will Ferrell, with a French accent. This isn't Will Ferrell's first foray into playing the villain, as he's voiced Megamind from the movie of the same name, and President Business in the Lego Movie. And I'm gonna be honest, when I watched the film, I didn't even know it was Will Ferrell. 36. Maxime's whole shtick is cockroaches. It's like his thing. He even uses it on his logo, which is the letter M with cockroach-like features. 37. Maxime's color palette, green, white, and yellow gold, funny enough, matches a pest control van seen later in the film. Number 38. Maxime is the first villain not to ever interact with Margo, Edith, or Agnes. Instead, a lot of his interactions are with Gru and Gru Jr. Number 39. Maxime Lamal joins the list of a very few set of villains in the series to have known about Gru prior to them meeting in the film, since they were classmates. One of the others is Balthazar Brat from Despicable Me 3. Number 40. Speaking of Lamal and Gru being classmates, they're both part of the graduating class of 85, as seen on banners and signage throughout the class reunion. 41. Alongside Maxime, we're introduced to his girlfriend Valentina, who was once very popular in school. Valentina is voiced by Sofia Vergara. 42. Since Maxime and Valentina are in a relationship, that makes them the second pair of villains to be in a romantic relationship. Prior to them, we had Scarlet and Herb Overkill from the Minions movie. Number 43. When Gru reveals to Maxime that he's part of the AVL, or the Anti-Villain League, and shows off his badge, in the bottom right corner is a QR code that looks just like a Minion. Number 44. If you like Minions, you're sure to like these new Minion versions. Despicable Me 4 introduces superpowered minions called Mega Minions. These minions are enhanced with a super serum, which wasn't previously tested. Number 45. Each of these Mega Minions possesses a unique superpower that reflects some of the popular superpowers we see in today's superhero medium. 46. The first of these minions is Dave, who has super strength, kinda like Superman, but I don't recall him having the ability to fly. Number 47. Speaking of Dave, he and Gru don't really interact in this film, a first in the series. 48. Our next minion is Mel, who has laser vision similar to Cyclops. He isn't very good at controlling his powers and oftentimes causes major collateral damage everywhere he goes. 49. Mel's laser vision is extremely powerful, being able to pierce through to the other side of the globe and into space. Number 50. Yes, this confirms that Mel does make a return in Despicable Me 4, despite leaving with Gru's twin brother Drew in Despicable Me 3. Number 51. Next up, we have Tim with the power of elasticity. He's kind of like Mr. Fantastic or Elastigirl. 52. There's a scene in the film where Tim has to stop a runaway train. In order to do so, he stretches out his arms and grabs onto buildings to slow the train down. This scene mirrors how Spider-Man stops the runaway trains in Spider-Man 2, except Tim doesn't shoot out webs. 53. In Despicable Me 4, Tim actually sports a different cut, with his hair appearing much shorter compared to previous films in the series. Number 54. Despite the new cut, merchandise of Tim can be seen with his previous longer hairstyle. I guess someone didn't communicate this change. Number 55. Jerry is our fourth Mega Minion, and he has the power of having a rocky exterior. He kind of reminds me of the Thing from Fantastic Four. 56. And lastly, we have Gus, who looks like he can be a Doctor Strange parody, but can really only fly. Number 57. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Mega Minion spin-off in the future, and it seems like Illumination feels the same way. On June 8th, 2024, Steve Carell was featured in a video on Illumination's YouTube channel promoting this Megaverse idea. The video was titled Enter the Megaverse and is presented like one of those MCU phase presentations. Number 58. In fact, on the Despicable Me 4 website, there's a tab that features the Megaverse. Even if it might be a joke, it seems like Illumination put in a lot of work creating 100 years worth of Mega Minions films. Number 59. Some of the film titles in the Megaverse are hilarious twists on existing shows and films. Some examples include Mega Minion Island, which looks like a Love Island parody, Mad Mega Furry Road, a play on Mad Max Fury Road, Mega Minions Multiverse of Margos, the Megaverse's take on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and Mega Minions Quantum of Solace, a 007 Quantum of Solace parody, and so much more. Number 60. A small short was created to help promote Despicable Me 4. Called Arms Race, this short featured the Mega Minions fighting over popcorn. Spoiler alert, nobody wins. Number 61. Due to certain circumstances, Gru and his family are forced to move out of their house and into the lovely but boring neighborhood of Mayflower, and they assume new identities. Under the guise of being a salesman, Gru goes by the name Chet Cunningham, solar panel salesman. Number 62. With a new identity comes new clothes, and the pink polo t-shirt that Gru wears looks like a play on the brand Lacoste, except instead of a crocodile, it's a turtle. Number 63. Lucy assumes the identity of Blanche Cunningham, a hairstylist. This becomes an issue later in the film, but we won't spoil it for you here. Number 64. The girls, Margo, Edith, and Agnes, take on the names Bree, Blair, and Brittany, respectively. Number 64. Gru Jr. is the only one in the family not to get a new identity. Number 66. At Mayflower, they meet a few new characters, particularly one new family, their neighbors, the seemingly rich Prescotts. Number 67. Starting with Poppy Prescott, the daughter in the Prescott family. She's played by Joey King, who you might recognize as the voice of Katie from Horton Hears a Who, and as Ramona from Ramona and Beezus. 68. Poppy Prescott is an aspiring supervillain, and you can see that she's a fan just by her room alone. Number 69. Hanging around Poppy's room are posters of the Vicious Six, who you might remember from the Minions movie. Number 70. Another poster that can be seen in Poppy's room is a poster of great villains of all time created by LPB, as you can see from the logos in the bottom corner. Will we ever see these villains in a future film? Who knows? We'll just have to see. 71. Eagle-eyed viewers can just barely spot an evil brat action figure in Poppy's room. Number 72. Poppy also seems to be a BTS fan, as she has a Butter poster hanging up in her room as well. For the non-BTS listeners out there, Butter is one of their singles. Number 73. Poppy's pink phone case is a BTS phone case, further solidifying that she might be a BTS fan. Number 74. Poppy has a Dance Dance Revolution-like machine in her room. It's cat-themed and has a dance pad similar to Pump It Up, with diagonal buttons and all. Oh, and she plays Through the Fire and Flames on it. 75. However, it seems she's obsessed with cats, or at least cat-themed items. On top of her DDR machine, she's got cat pillows, cat furniture, cat headphones, and most importantly, an actual cat. Number 76. When Gru first meets Poppy in her treehouse, Poppy is sitting in a floating cat chair orb thing, and turns around towards Gru while petting her cat. This little motion is a reference to several famous villains such as 007's Ernst Stavro Blofeld, as well as Dr. Evil, who is clearly a parody of the former. Number 77. Perry Prescott, the father of Poppy Prescott, is played by Stephen Colbert of The Late Show. Number 78. Perry Prescott owns Prescott Motors, which is the largest auto dealer in the state, canonically. Number 79. Perry's car has a Mayflower license plate, which raises the question, is Mayflower a state or a city? I need to know. 80. Patsy Prescott, Perry's wife, and the mother, Poppy Prescott, is voiced by Chloe Feynman. Number 81. Gru's house has changed over the past few films, but there's one thing that's still present, the radioactive flower painting. First seen in Despicable Me. 82. Now that he's fully a family man, you might notice small things in Gru's house that point to him taking care of his kids. In the kitchen, you can spot bowls that seem to belong to each of the children. 83. Melora, a disgruntled salon customer who was wronged by Lucy, chases Lucy in a supermarket. The whole sequence is reminiscent of a chase scene from The Terminator, complete with a backing track similar to The Terminator. Dun 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 dun. Number 84. Melora is voiced by Lorraine Newman, a veteran who's had voice roles in The Secret Life of Pets 2, Despicable Me 3, Sing, and so much more. Number 85. Several characters make a small comeback at the end of the film. Starting with returning characters from the first Despicable Me film, we have Marlena Gru, Vector, Mr. Perkins, and Fred McDade. 86. From Despicable Me 2, we have the one and only El Macho. 87. From the Minions film, Scarlet and Herb Overkill make an appearance. 88. Coming in from Despicable Me 3, we have Balthazar Brat and Drew Gru. Number 89, rounding out the crowd from Minions: The Rise of Gru, Bell Bottom, Nunchuck, Stronghold, Svengeance, and Jean-Claude. 90. Despite these characters returning at the end, a majority, if not all of them, have non-speaking roles and are only there to celebrate. Number 91. Wild Knuckles doesn't make a return at the end of the film, making him one of the only villains not to return. Number 92. John DiMaggio, who voiced one of Wild Knuckles' henchmen in previous films, makes a return. Since his character isn't in the film, instead DiMaggio voices the AVL bus driver in charge of sending the minions to headquarters. Number 93. While everyone's dancing in the prison, it seems like Vector's stuck in the past, because he can be seen doing the floss. Number 94. Another character that makes a reappearance, albeit a short one, is Dr. Nefario. However, he's now voiced by Ramesh Ranganathan, who replaces Russell Brand. Number 95. Pharrell Williams returns to produce another song for the Despicable Me franchise, this time being Double Life. For those that don't know, Pharrell Williams has been making music for each of these films since the first, so it's nice seeing him return. Number 96. When Pharrell Williams dropped Double Life as a single, people interpreted the song as a diss on Drake. Whether or not this is on purpose has yet to be confirmed, but maybe it's just the song for Despicable Me. I don't know. Number 97. And now that I mention him, this is the first film in the series not to include a scene featuring Fun 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 by Pharrell Williams. Number 98. The main composer for Despicable Me 4 is Heitor Pereira, who also composed all of the previous Despicable Me films. Number 99. The soundtrack for Despicable Me 4, if you're interested, was released on June 27th, 2024 by Backlot Music, a few days before the film was released in theaters. Number 100. While the film doesn't have the oh-so-popular post-credits scene, there are credit bits featuring the minions in ridiculous situations. Be sure to stay to check them all out, because they give a good idea of what other shenanigans the Mega Minions are up to. Number 101. The Minions return to Regal Theaters with Regal's Policy trailer, shown before films. For those of you that haven't seen the Policy trailer, it's a virtual roller coaster guiding you through the policies of the theater. This time around, the Minions join in on the ride. Previously, this version of the trailer was seen around the time of the release of Minions: The Rise of Gru. Number 102. For the Super Bowl, Illumination created a spot where the Minions used artificial intelligence to generate images to help advertise the film. Just like most AI creations, these look terrible. Number 103. Despicable Me 4 premiered at the Jazz at Lincoln Center, located in New York City, on June 9th, 2024. Number 104. The film was officially released on July 3rd, 2024, a few days from the 14-year anniversary of the first Despicable Me film's release date, July 9th, 2010. Number 105. Despicable Me 4 has done very well during its opening weekend, with $75 million during the weekend itself. But if you start on July 3rd, its opening day, we see it's garnered $122.6 million overall. This means that the film ended Inside Out 2's streak as the #1 film at the box offices. Number 106. Not only that, but the film outperformed its predecessor Despicable Me 3, which opened at a similar time, around the 4th of July weekend, but in 2017. I'd say that's a huge success, especially it being the 4th sequel. Number 107. Despicable Me 4 is not the final film in the series, and there are more being planned for the future. And that's it for 107 facts about Despicable Me 4. What did we miss? Any facts that you found super interesting? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when we upload next. That's all for now, and remember, Frederator loves you.